come around with a microphone. But without further ado, please welcome to the stage Mike Colter and Jessica Henwick.
Hello, this works. There you go.
It works now, you sat on it.
Were you trying to build up anticipation for your entrance?
I know, sorry.
Like I'm warming you up, I'm warming the crowd up.
We were back there chatting and we didn't hear. I didn't hear. She moved and I came behind her.
So, how are you both? How are you finding it so far this morning and how have you been?
Good, yeah, when did you fly in?
I flew in yesterday. I came from LA and I love London. I love coming to London, so this is a great excuse to come out and see you guys and to get a chance to, have a little tea, go to see Buckingham Palace. I know you guys I always stay in Mayfair. I love Buckingham Palace, like standing in Green Park, looking around. Don't stalk me, I'm not going to be there today, but in general, I like Green Park.
Yeah, I just got in from Wales. I climbed Snowdon, so I got in yesterday too.
So when does the leg ache kick in? Probably tomorrow, and jet lag will kick in for you tomorrow.
No. I'm a world traveler. I think I like to change time zones so often I can't, my body doesn't know what time it is.
Really, see, I hate it.
You do hate jet lag?
I hate jet lag.
She just came from Wales, but that was close though, right?
Yeah, that's literally the same time zone.
Shows how many times I've been to Wales. I've been to Wales a few times.
But no, when I was a kid, I loved traveling. And now as an adult, I'm like, I wish I could just fucking get there. Sorry, swearing. Is that other kids in? Okay, we're good. I wish I could just teleport. I hate it.
No, I agree. But there's a thing called frequent flyer miles, and so that kind of comes in handy when you're flying a lot. So, yeah.
What partner program are you?
Oh God, I've had them all. I know them all. We can talk airlines all day long. Maybe a whole 30 minutes of like, who's good? What's the food like?
Delta is the best.
Maybe
yes,
like
because the miles
ago.
never expire.
So what? But that doesn't mean anything to expire. That's not.
I don't want that like on my shoulder going.
How's the food?
The food sucks, but I don't want to waste the miles if they expire.
So you're pressured to go places you don't want to go because of the miles? That's what you're saying? That what happens? See me, I just let the miles expire. That's how I am. I'm like whatever.
That's such a waste. You should at least transfer.
I'm saving the planet by letting my miles expire. See how I did that?
It's the most random chat.
Yeah, didn't expect this one, did you? Yeah. There's a bridge between Spain and Portugal where the time zone changes halfway across. Try and hit 88 miles an hour across it. You cannot do it. You can hit 86, but you can't get to 88. See, that's the kind of time zone that's okay, an hour. Yeah, you can cope with that. So before we start talking about Marvel and your involvement with that, how did you both get started in acting? Was it something you always wanted to do, or did you fall into it?
You start, you go.
Jeez.
So you started performing because you're
ladies. I said ladies. I tried to defer to her, and now she doesn't want to be deferred to. Okay, fine. So I won't be a gentleman.
I've never heard your story, so I want to hear it.
I don't even think I have a story. What's my story? Let me think of one. Okay, I was abused and traumatized as a child. I wanted attention. This is not far from the truth, actually. I mean, I was neglected, not traumatized and abused. That's not. I'm teasing you. I think I was a kid, like a lot of kids, in a small town. I didn't have a lot of outlets, and I think I just took to cinema and television as an escape. I mean, it was kind of how I filled my time. I mean, it kept me out of trouble. I wasn't allowed to go out and have a lot of friends and just like go do things. My parents were not super strict, but I didn't have a chance to just do a lot of stuff that I'm glad they didn't let me do now, but I was pretty bored inside. And I just would have used my imagination, and I didn't have any toys. And most of the toys I had like one action figure of everything.
What was the action figure of?
It wasn't even a name. This one wasn't, the first one I had wasn't even a name. I gave him a name. I called him Turbo something. I called him like Turbo Dude or something. And it was just a little dude that was in like a helmet and like a motorcycle outfit or whatever. But I would take this dude on adventures every day. I mean, literally in my room, I'd be like climbing, going under the bed. And my whole thing was, this Turbo Dude was the guy that was small, and everything he faced was bigger than he was, so he had to figure out how to like battle like the cat or the dog or something like that. I mean, I was completely enthralled by this adventure until his arm fell off, and then I had to like reattach it, and that was a whole other thing. I mean, it got pretty deep.
Wow.
Got pretty deep. Yeah. So anyway, that's what happened. And then I realized you can make a living doing this. You can make a living pretending. And so then I just found out schools. Back then we didn't have Google, so I couldn't figure out like, oh, where do you go?
Ask
so,
Jeeves.
No, encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia, wow.
You know that encyclopedia, the book. Like, what book is this? Okay.
Oh.
All right, your turn.
Yeah, I was the same. Like, I grew up in a really small village, and everyone was old.
Where?
In England.
Oh, which village?
Did you not know I was English?
I didn't know that, but I didn't know that. But for some reason, when you said a small village, for some reason I'm like, is this someplace I don't know? England's very small.
In Surrey, a small village in Surrey, and it's a pensioners' village. And yeah, I grew up with I have two brothers. One's here. And oh no, everyone's looking for him now. He's uncomfortable. I was the middle child, and quite a typical middle child. I'm the only girl, and I was constantly trying to entertain my family. I would put on shows. I was probably really freaking annoying. And then when I was 16, I was in Chinatown with my mom, and there was a poster asking for young British Chinese kids to come to this big casting call. And I was too old. I was 16, and they wanted kids under the age of 14, and my mom was like, I have a feeling, and my mom's very intuitive, so she said, I just have a feeling you should just go anyway, and I did, and I ended up getting this role, and it was my very first TV series called Spirit Warriors. It was a kids show, and then I just kept at it. Yeah, when you find the thing that you love, it doesn't feel like work, and I've been doing it, I guess, 13 years now.
Wow, that's crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, 16 works out perfectly because they can work you longer hours, and
Yes, I was playing a child.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. But I was legally emancipated, so I could work adult hours.
So, role in kind of the Netflix Marvel series, how did that come about? Did you know you were auditioning for Marvel, or was it all very quiet?
When I auditioned, there were some pages that didn't have. I forgot the name they used besides Luke Cage or Luke. It was maybe Lance or something. It was some weird name. They gave a fake name, and I didn't know anything about. Like, I had heard rumors, and I read those sides. There was no script. It was just sides, and then I remember reading it and thinking that I had a job at the time, and I was on a series that just got. I think it got picked up, or it was a pilot. And so I wasn't really stressed. I was like, oh, this is interesting. But then I realized like I wasn't available. But then I was also like, oh, it's kind of interesting, really cool material. So I remember calling my agent at the time and saying, hey guys, this FYI, I'm gonna do this thing and it's Marvel. I know, because you go for stuff all the time, but every once in a while you feel like, oh, this feels something interesting about this, and you check up with your agency or your team, and you say, just pay attention to this one, or could you make a call, or just, I don't know why you do these things because it doesn't help, but I think sometimes we fear they're not doing their jobs. We're like, excuse me, just in case you didn't know, I went in for an audition. And it turns out they called me back in. I don't know if it was a callback or maybe it was straight to producers. I don't know. I remember meeting Jeff Loeb at some point in an elevator going up to audition, and I didn't know who he was or what he looked like. So I got in the elevator with him. I went and sat down. I met about 5 different people who were auditioning for Jessica Jones, and oddly enough, I didn't see anybody else. I think auditioning for Luke Cage, and I was like, this is weird. I said, either I'm definitely not getting this role of like the reader, or I'm definitely getting this role, but I couldn't figure out which one it was. So I went with the latter, which is I'm getting the role, and I called my agency and listen, I said, guys, there's no one else in the room, but just go in there, negotiate, it's mine. I literally was like telling them, guys, listen, there's no one else around, and I know this other dude, he's already got a job, he's not coming. So anyway, I ended up getting a role, and then that was it. It was, how about you?
It was written under I think they said Marvel, but they had a code name for our show. It was Kick. Yeah. And the thing is, I already knew Finn Jones, who plays the lead, who plays Danny. I already knew him because we did Game of Thrones together, and we met on the con circuit. And so I messaged him like, hey, is this the right show? And he said, come over, I have the script. And so the night before my audition, I went to Finn's house and I read it, and we were just like, no way are we both, like we know each other, no way are we both gonna get it. And yeah, it was a really fast process. I auditioned the next day, and then I was getting on the plane that evening, and I got a call from Jeff Loeb, who was running Marvel at Netflix. Or was he running Marvel TV all over?
Yeah, Marvel TV and then something.
I got a phone call from an unrecognized number, and it was Jeff, and he just said, welcome to Marvel. And yeah, the rest is history.
Were you really calm when he said that? Just went, yeah, nice one. Yeah,
I was like, no. Welcome to Marvel, no.
It's like prank calls, like, look at the numbers.
yeah. You wouldn't believe it at first, really, I guess, would you? Yeah. Have any of you guys got any questions? Yeah, I'm sure you have. There's one right over this side. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Jessica. Really nice to meet you. Which other parts of the MCU have you not been involved in, but you would like to be involved in?
I think like Deadpool, right? Deadpool Marvel, right? Deadpool's an out, like it's not, you know, because it's like out. I guess the black sheep of Marvel, maybe. I don't know how to describe Deadpool, but like it's like the one that doesn't feel like a Marvel, right? It's a Deadpool Marvel, right? Yeah. So Deadpool's kind of, you know, I like that kind of stuff. That's cool. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy series, that's a cool vibe over there. There's a lot of content that I don't know about, to be honest with you. There's so many things that could be cool. I'm like, oh, I don't watch everything Marvel. I know it seems weird probably, but I don't. But those are the ones off the top of my head that I'm like, oh yeah, those could be cool, you know?
When I got Iron Fist, I had actually auditioned for 2 other Marvel projects before. So I had, like, it's one casting director does all of Marvel's work, and so she just kept bringing me back in to the point where I was like, we should just give it a rest, it's not going to work. But, you know, something that I really like, same with Deadpool, they announced that Jennifer Garner is going to play Elektra again in Deadpool. Again, well, because she played it way before Marvel was like, you know, it was like one film every 3 years back then.
It's like a Ben Affleck did.
Yeah. So it's back, and I always liked that role. I liked Elektra. I thought she was cool.
So you don't play Elektra?
I think I just want to be Jennifer Garner.
Oh, okay. That's I mean, that makes sense to me. You seen that dog?
Next question.
Let's see.
Yep.
I like it. It's just like, yeah, it's weird.
Hi, so this one's actually for Mike. Mike, have you ever had your agent or anyone speak to anyone at DC about the possibility of you playing John Henry, also known as Steel?
Oh, didn't they? Yeah, John Henry, didn't they? But didn't they do that already? Did Rock? Did someone, didn't they do it? Oh, I didn't even know that was the same character. No, you know, it's one of those things where I just need to see a good script. Like, I'm not, characters, it's like everybody thinks, okay, you can do a character, but it's just the name, right? You start with a character, but what's the story? Like, you know, sometimes, you know, what is the story behind each character? And like Spider-Man has a story, we kind of know the origin, like something happened and he didn't stop this criminal and then he should have stopped the criminal and then it just taught him a lesson about life and then, you know, he launched his series. And I think every character has an origin story and I just don't know enough about those characters. And that's what appeals to me. You know, like, if you can find a good end to a character and then get the audience on your side and you can understand the character, then I think it works. So if it's got a great backstory, then, you know, sure. I hear stuff about like Green Lantern and stuff, and I you know, I'm kind of intrigued, but I don't know enough about the material to say yes or no. But that's what it's all about. Writers, you know, i.e. like writers strike and writers. We stand with the writers. The writers come with the ideas, they give us the words, we get inspired, and then we do what we do, you know.
When you got the roles in Marvel, were you told at the time, you know, that there'd be crossover episodes and there'd be a Defenders series, and you know, is it all that kind of told you at the start? Or?
Yeah, well, when they option you basically sign away your life for the next 7 years, and they tell you, we may use you in this show, we may use you in this show. I think it was like 7 seasons, 2 cameos. It went on and on and on. It was a pretty crazy contract, and I think that's just the norm for Marvel. But you don't find out until the last minute whether they're exercising the option and whether you're going to be used. So I didn't know I was going to be in Luke Cage until like 3 weeks before we shot it, and they said, oh, we wrote that episode months ago, and I was like, well, why did anyone talk to me?
That would be nice. They were really big on secrets. I will say that working with Marvel, that was probably the most
Annoying thing.
part, is that they were really secretive about everything, and they really wanted to just keep us in the dark. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're still that way. It's just a power thing. But yeah, you could have told Jessica that was going to happen, or you could have told me. Also, I think the power of knowledge, like the scripts, like one time I think someone told me that a script, one of the Marvel movies had been leaked, like the whole entire script was released.
Yeah.
And somehow it was either the hard copy or online version or whatever. And as an actor, they'll put your name, they put like your watermark, your name over the script. So if your script gets stolen or you lose it, your name is on it, every page. Like, so it'll be, Mike Colter right across every page of the script, so they'll know it's yours that was leaked. And I remember one time leaving a script I was in a French restaurant somewhere in Soho, and I don't know what happened. I got in the car and I went back home, and I didn't realize, I guess I left the script for that episode. It was like the last episode of season 2 or something like that. And at the time, I felt sick to my stomach. Like I was like, oh my God. I had to go all the way back to the restaurant. We couldn't find it. I was so stressed. I couldn't believe how stressed I was. Now, I don't know how this happened, but somehow I called everybody, all the powers that be, and of course, they were like stressed out a little bit too. And then I remember, I don't know, days later, somehow finding that script. I don't know. It felt like it just appeared. I don't know where the fuck it came from. Sorry. It just appeared in my home. I don't know. It was like, I was like, it was not there. I swear to God, it was not there. I realized that I mean no harm, but people don't read these damn scripts. If you drop on the ground, people just they don't care about reading it. They want to see it. Like, to read a script is not enough for them. They want to see it, and they also don't have any interest in necessarily ruining the movie for everyone. I don't know who would want to do that. Who would want to read an entire 120 pages and then just, I don't know, hand it to other friends and talk. What are you going to do with it? People probably read like 5 pages and they go, whatever, I'll wait till it comes out. That's how I look at it.
So I think if I found a script, I'd change it before I tried to sell it on.
Yeah.
So there'd be this false film going on.
Then one over here.
Any more questions? Yeah. One there, and then we'll come to you.
I've got a question for Jessica. Could you tell us about The Matrix? I got involved in that.
How I got involved? Yeah, so I was on a hike and I was contacted about auditioning for it, and I was like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I can't do it. And I thought it was gone. Because I turned it down, and then sort of 4 months later they came back, and I guess they still hadn't found anyone. And I made a self-tape. It was a pretty straightforward process. I made a tape. They flew me to LA where I did chemistry reads, obviously with Yahya, who got the role in the end, but also with another actor. And then again, I was getting into an Uber, and I got the phone call from Lana, an unrecognized number. And I assumed it was the Uber driver, and I answered and I went, yeah, I'm standing outside the gas station. And then I just had this, hello? And it was Lana telling me I had the role. It was a pretty straightforward process.
Okay, there's one further down the front. Just down here, yeah.
Hi guys, that guy kind of stole one of my questions. I'm going to try and think of something else, but I just wanted to say, Mike, loved you as Lamont Bishop in The Good Wife. It's one of my favourite shows. He's like one of those quietly terrifying characters. So yeah, kind of The Good Wife was first for me, and then seeing you in as Luke Cage when I started watching Jessica Jones, I was just like, it's Lamont Bishop. So it was just a little bit.
Yeah, a little weird. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So, but my question was for Jessica. I was going to ask if the Carrie-Anne Moss connection in Marvel was anything to do with you getting into The Matrix. It doesn't kind of sound like it was.
No, Carrie-Anne and I only shared one scene in Iron Fist. Most of her stuff was with Finn, so we met, and I remember being kind of freaked out that it's Trinity. But we didn't really talk very much because I was terrified of her. When she was playing Jerry Hogarth, she was steel and very intimidating. So we weren't like buddy.
Everybody's a little afraid of her. I'm not sure about it.
I mean, she's a legend.
Yeah.
But she's also this is what I realized on The Matrix, is she's so nice and friendly, and I don't know why I was afraid of her, because she's actually just like a hippie.
Yeah. She's very sweet.
Yeah, when we were filming The Matrix, obviously COVID was a thing, and she had this ozone machine that she got in her house, and she kept being like, "Come over, try my ozone machine."
You're like, what do you want?
She's very holistic, nature-loving, hippie, wonderfully generous, kind woman.
And just kind of building on that, like you kind of going, oh my god, so do either of you ever get starstruck? And if so, who most?
Keanu Reeves, for sure. The first time I met him, yeah.
It's so weird. I'm staying in a hotel where I bumped into Keanu last month on Monday. He was staying in a hotel where the lobby, drinking, and down the lobby. He was like, hey, Keanu's right there. It was so weird. That's so weird that dude, like, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Keanu, it's funny, I think I did an audition with him years ago when I was struggling. I was like, I don't think I had booked, I don't remember how far it was. I know I was working in a restaurant at the same time, and I went in for an audition. And it was so nice because it was a real small independent film, and I still remember who got the role, and I don't remember anything about the film, but you always remember.
They would shame them.
Shame them, you always remember who gets the role that you don't get. And Keanu was in there, and it was a small independent film, and I can't remember the name of it, I don't think anyone would. But anyway, I really wanted the role, but he was in there auditioning with everyone. He was reading with people, so I remember him being in the room in New York, and he rode his bike there, and he's all sweaty and stuff, but he had the papers. But a lot of times, listen, actors, you do readings, the lead actors don't come in the room and read with you very often, unless they really care and all this other stuff. So, yeah, for all intents and purposes, I think he gets a fair, consistent, nice guy. Everyone seems to like him, so. Yeah, I don't get starstruck that much. I think when I came to LA the first time, we talked about the story. I thought about the Denzel Washington, but it was just a look-alike.
Have you guys seen Game Night? It's the exact scene from Game Night happened.
So now I have to go watch Game Night because it happened to me.
It was at a gas station as well.
Oh my God. Okay, this is at a Starbucks. Now I got to go watch this. This is crazy. So that happened, and then that was not real. So later I did meet him I did a play, and he came backstage, and that was cool. But that was actually maybe a few years later. But I think the time I got starstruck, I guess I saw Magic Johnson, a basketball player, when I first got to LA. And I forgot who it was I saw, but I think he was the first one because he was just sitting, eating with his family or whatever in this lame restaurant that was awful food. I don't know why anybody went there. They finally closed the place down. Food was like hospital food. It was the worst food ever. I'm going to shame them. It was called Good Earth, a cafe or something like that. Not the one in West Hollywood, but this is like, it was so bad. Everything had no flavor. It was like the kind of food your doctor would prescribe to you if you could not eat anything with seasoning. And for some reason, because it says Good Earth, everyone thought it was, you should eat there because you would live forever if you just ate this food because it has nothing in it. I mean, it was bad. But anyway, so I saw him and I got an autograph back when people had autographs and there was no phones and selfies. So I was starstruck then, but normally I don't get that. I'm on Clint Eastwood, but I worked with Clint Eastwood. He came in the trailer and that
What did you do with Clint Eastwood?
This movie called $1 Million Baby with Hillary Swank.
Oh my God, I never made that connection.
Never made that connection.
I never made that connection. That's such a good film.
That was, yeah.
Wow.
I know, it's like you only see it once. You don't watch that again usually, maybe twice.
No, I've seen it twice.
Oh, okay, that's about it though. You can't.
I can't watch it again. It's too sad. It's too sad.
Yeah. If it was like a comedy, like Bridesmaids, you see everyone, you know the movie so well. But $1 Million Baby, I remember reading that script and I remember telling my agent, it's going to win everything. And I hadn't had it. I was like, ooh, this is going to win everything. I didn't know Hillary was going to be or Morgan Freeman was going to be in it. But yeah, he walked in the trailer and I had never met him because he doesn't audition in person, just on tape. And he came in as I was coming to do some makeup test or something like that. And he's in between scenes and he walks in this, in the trailer with his banana chewing a banana mouth. And he's like, hey, how you doing, whatever. And it's just like I'm sitting there going, oh shit, this is Clint Eastwood. And because some people you just, it's like, wait a minute, I had a feeling. It was like one of those weird feelings where I'm going, should I look at him or should I just like not look at him? It was weird.
Okay, another question for you guys? Yeah,
Hi, my question is for Jessica. Jessica, big fan of Game of Thrones. Had you read the books when you took on the role, and were you disappointed with how your character died?
I had read some of the books. I have not, to this day, finished either the books or the show. I actually was the biggest fan of the show, and then as soon as I was cast in it, I stopped watching it. I couldn't watch it anymore. It ruined the show for me. I don't
You don't
know.
hear that often. You don't hear that often. Like, I was watching The Good Wife before I was on The Good Wife, and I kept watching it after I was on it. Maybe not my scenes, but this one, Abandoned Ship.
No, I couldn't watch it. I just it was just.
You saw the bells and whistles.
I saw the bells and whistles, and I knew everyone, and I was like, oh no, I've been to that set, and I know that the thing feels like styrofoam.
Oh,
it's not
no.
real metal.
Yeah, okay.
The throne is like made of foam.
And that person didn't die, and you're like, that dragon's not real, and I don't. It's like, oh my god.
The dragon's not real?
Not real. The dragon's not real.
Yes, was I disappointed how the character died? I mean, no, because I was filming Iron Fist at the time, and it looked like I wasn't going to get to go back at all, which means I would have just disappeared off screen. And like David and Dan, the showrunners, called me and they said, we really want to close it out. We know you don't have much time. So Netflix, Jeff Loeb very kindly released me for 7 days. And so I flew to Belfast, I trained for 2 days, and then we shot for the rest, and then I flew right back to set. It was a really tight squeeze. So I could have had a better death, but I mean, I wasn't disappointed because I got to finish the arc.
Yeah, that's nice. You don't want to die. You don't want to have an off-screen disappearance or off-screen death. And actors, I'm sensitive to that. I can always tell when an actor has another contract or something's going on, how things end usually. I remember one time, it was also Game of Thrones, and I don't know if this to be true or not, this is a theory I have. There was this one scene where the guy, it's where the White Walkers, they come to this lake and the White Walkers show up, and this is just before they kill one of the dragons, which really gutted me. I hated when they killed the dragon, the night of the White Walker or dead king threw the spear and killed the dragon. I'm like, this sucks. This sucks, and I was like, this is not okay, and the dragons can't die, and I call bullshit. I'm like, you cannot take a spear. I was so mad. All of a sudden, I'm like, you're killing dragons with a spear. So that took me a minute. But in this scene, there was one moment where I forgot. I think it might have been Jon Snow or somebody. This other actor comes on a horse, and this is when they're starting to jump, we call it in America jumping the shark, the things that start to happen that doesn't make sense. Like it took them 4 days to get to this location, but then one of them ran back within like half of an episode on foot, like the fastest one. Who's the fastest one? You are. How do we know this? I don't know. He's the shortest one. How did he become the fastest one? I was like, and he ran back. So anyway, I digress. Back to this story. The guy shows up and I kid you not, I'm pretty sure it was Jon Snow. Puts him on the horse, puts Jon Snow on the horse and tells him, hits the horse and you can go. Well, the horse can carry 2 people. For some reason, this actor gets off the horse and he decides to fight the White Walkers, or whatever, the White Walkers, is that right? The White Walkers, so he decides to fight them. Well, he's gonna die. Of course he died. I mean, as soon as he got off the horse, it was like, you go. And he's like, no, you can come with me. And he wouldn't come with them. But that means he just rode off, and why didn't you get on the horse?
Because he had an offer from another show.
Now, I don't know this to be true, I haven't done research, but I'm pretty certain he had another job, because there's no way you just die, and I'm sorry, writers, that doesn't make sense. It's a big horse. Playing in a room in the back of the horse. Okay?
I think you've overthought that a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm still not over this.
We're just about to run out of time, actually, but
okay.
What are you guys working on at the moment, if you can tell us?
It's a strike. There's nothing. Are you working?
Pseudo working, pre-production on some stuff. I mean, not working because with strike. First, as a writer's strike, we can still film stuff that has been written technically, but there's also a SAG strike looming. So it's kind of like pre-production stuff. So hopefully, after the strike, I'll do some the feature stuff that we're trying to get done.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we have run out of time, so show your appreciation once more for Mike Colter, Jessica Henwick.
Thank you.